Yo, what's up gamers? It's me, Jackson, and today I'm going to be giving my ranking for every galaxy in Super Mario Galaxy. Now, I'm going to be grading these galaxies off of three main criteria. First, we have the aesthetics. Now, when I say aesthetics, I mean the visuals, the music, and generally the atmosphere a galaxy is able to create. Second is the design. This consists of the platforming, the mechanics, or the gimmicks that lend to the actual playing of a galaxy. And third, we have the missions. So basically, what are the objectives or unique events that take place in each galaxy? With that said, let's dive right into it with the worst galaxy in the game. Now, I don't really know if this is a hot take, but for my pick, the worst galaxy is Battlerock Galaxy. There's an excessive amount of auto-scrolling, you have one of those retarded trash cleaning missions that is just way too strict on the timer, and I don't know, in general it just didn't do a lot for me. The Top Man was cool though. Alright, next we have the Grand Finale Galaxy. So unlike future 3D Mario games where there's a pretty bombastic final level, Mario Galaxy has kind of a more chill one, and it's actually just a repeat of the opening sequence. It's not bad, but it's not really that exciting for the grand finale of what's otherwise such an epic game. Alright, next up we have Gold Leaf Galaxy. Now, the main reason I don't really like this level is just because it's pretty much a reskin of Honey Hive Galaxy, and at that point, I have to wonder why they didn't just make a separate mission within Honey Hive that, you know, painted the trees with the autumn coloring or added some of these extra planets. The missions aren't bad, but it's just kind of lame. Alright, next up is Bowser Jr.'s Lava Reactor. Speaking of reusing content, this is a rematch against one of the first bosses in the game, and I don't know, it's just not that interesting. It's a pretty short level, and you're just fighting a harder version of King Caliente. Alright, coming in next we have Dreadnought Galaxy. Now, I must have been gaslit by my memory into thinking there was some super cool rocket ship escape sequence, but that was nowhere to be found, and instead, this is literally just Battlerock Galaxy 2.0. It's so lame. They repeat the Top Man boss fight, there's another crappy trash mission, and a lot of the mechanics are just basically rearrangements of stuff that we saw in Battlerock. As such, it got knocked down a ton of points after I replayed it. Alright, next up, we have Dusty Doom Galaxy. Now, I have never really been a huge fan of desert levels in games because quicksand is not a very fun mechanic, and I'm kind of annoyed of the stereotypical desert music and all that stuff, so I'm already a little bit biased against this, but there's just this one level that you have to repeat for a Speedster Daredevil comet that just is so freaking long. Like, I don't know, man, it just takes way too long. Alright, next we have Boo's Boneyard Galaxy. This is a one-off galaxy where you have to rematch the Speedy Boo character from the game. This is kind of fun, but I don't really think that races work as well in 2D levels as they do in 3D, just because, I don't know, there's kind of like less dimensions to run around in and to juke out your opponent. So while I do appreciate the attempt, I just don't feel like it worked as well as the previous race against him, which was in 3D. I will say it's cool that you race him in the Boo form though. Okay, next up we have Bubble Breeze Galaxy. This is a gimmick galaxy where you basically have to blow around Mario with a windmill thing attached to your cursor. It's actually kind of cool, and I kind of dig the, I don't know, poisonous vibe of the galaxy, but other than that, it's just kind of whatever. Okay, speaking of gimmick galaxies, next we have Rolling Gizmo Galaxy. So, okay, I think you're either gonna love or hate, but probably definitely hate the rolling star levels in this game. While I do think conceptually they're kind of charming, I don't know, in execution they're just a little obnoxious, and this level is, well, pretty annoying. It's a lot harder than the other one in this game, so, I don't know, maybe I'm just not good enough. Next up we have Hurry Scurry Galaxy. This is kind of a funny galaxy because it's like 10 seconds long, but with that said, I do think it accomplishes what it set out to do, which is just to provide a fun little challenge. And I also like the part at the end where you fall through the green world that you just destroyed to land on the star. Okay, speaking of one-off galaxies, next we have Honey Climb Galaxy, which basically takes the bee honeycomb climbing ability and extends it into an entire galaxy. I think it's pretty cool. Not bad, not great, just kind of there. I do like the vibe of it though. Alright, next up we have Bowser's Star Reactor. This is the first time in the game that you fight against Bowser, and it's just kind of whatever. The level isn't too interesting, the fight against Bowser is pretty easy, but the music is awesome. Alright, next we have Rolling Green Galaxy. This is the other Rolling Star Galaxy in the game, and I give it more points off of two things. First off, it's less obnoxious because it's easier, and second off, I just dig the aesthetics a lot more. Kind of floating in the sky in this green prairie world gives me Monkey Ball vibes, so that's always good. Alright, next up we have Loop-de-Loop Galaxy. This is the first time in the game that you will be riding on the Manta Ray, and I actually think it's kind of fun. It is pretty easy, so I didn't rate it that high, and they'll do it a lot better later. Okay, Buoy-based Galaxy is next, and I really like this one. Not only is the level design quite strong with the platforming for the central tower, but there's also some fun secrets and cool things to discover underneath the tower in the pool. Overall, it's a really strong galaxy. Next is Toy Time Galaxy. This might be a bit of a hot take because I feel like a lot of people really enjoy this level, at least online. But for me personally, it's just kind of in the middle. It's not bad, but I do feel like the level design is a little too claustrophobic. The missions are neat, I guess especially that one where you destroy the robotic Bowser toy. But I don't know, nothing about it really grabbed me. Okay, next up we have Sling Pod Galaxy. This is a one-off galaxy that I just think is a lot of fun because I really like the Sling Pods. And also it's super easy to farm star bits here, so even if you die a lot, you'll probably make back all of your lives in like 3 seconds. Okay, next is Deep Dark Galaxy. Now I do kind of love the aesthetic here. It gives me this kind of, I don't know, hopeless island feeling, which I actually think they accomplished really well in Super Mario Odyssey with the Lost Kingdom 2. So this is probably the most comparable Mario level to that. But anyways, as for the level itself, it's fine. I think that, you know, the design and the aesthetic are there, but the missions are not the most interesting. It's basically just a rematch against some purple witch thing, and you also have to chase down a shark again. So a lot of repeat missions. Next is Bubble Blast Galaxy. This is the second bubble pushing gimmick level in the game, and I actually like it a lot more because it's pretty tough. I also think that the aesthetic is cool because it's just a bunch of electric guardrails around you as you're floating through space. So overall, pretty good level in my book. Okay, next is Bowser Jr.'s Airship Armada. This is a pretty epic level because you're basically just going between different airships until you eventually get to Bowser Jr. at the end, and he's actually kind of a fun boss fight. So yeah, that's a good boss level. Alrighty, next is Good Egg Galaxy. This is kind of the true introduction to the game, and you know what? I think it does a pretty decent job. It's not the most exciting or interesting level in the game, but it certainly does a good job at showing you what Mario Galaxy is all about, and I think that the first boss fight is a pretty great first boss as well. Okay, now I'm gonna give you a nuclear level epic take, and that is Bowser's Galaxy Reactor, which is the final confrontation with Bowser and mission in the main campaign. The music is super epic, and it is neat to see all of these different mechanics from various galaxies we've been to, but at the same time, this over-reliance on old ideas kind of makes it feel lacking in terms of its own distinct identity, and as such, it's just a fine finale. Alright, and this is the part of the video where I probably lose all credibility, but whatever, I don't care. Next up is Flip Switch Galaxy. That's right, baby. I'm putting this 10-second galaxy above the final level of the game. Frickin' sue me. But I really like this level, even though it is kind of a joke because of how short it is. Between the mission, which is admittedly pretty simple, the aesthetics, which also are pretty simple, and the design, which is also very simple, I don't know, I just think it executes it all really well. This is one of the earliest levels in the game too, so I don't think there's a lot of pressure on it to try to do something too fancy, and I don't know, I just kind of dig how how like minimalistic it is. But I don't know, that's probably my super weird take of the video. Okay, next is Space Junk Galaxy. Now the music and the reference to Pikmin is epic, and I also really like the part where you're, running and the platforms appear in front of you like you're God. But other than that, the level is kind of whatever, and I'm not the biggest fan of the boss in this galaxy, which is this freaking ugly spider thing. But yeah. Okay, next is Honey Hive Galaxy. This is the second proper galaxy of the game, but to me, it's a far more memorable early game galaxy than Good Egg Galaxy is. That's because it has the bee NPC characters, Queen Bee, the bee power-up, and just the general platforming, aesthetics, and missions are a lot more interesting and enjoyable for me. Okay, next is Freeze Flame Galaxy. Now, when I was a kid, I had never really seen the whole fire and ice crossover thing before this point, so I thought this was just the coolest thing ever. And that Shadow Mario race where you're going across the ice cubes will just be burned into my memory for the rest of the time. I don't know why, I just thought it was the coolest thing ever when I was like 5 years old. But anyways, now that I'm a jaded old man, I can say it's pretty good. I really love the first mission, and especially just the ice area of the game, because not only is it fun to scale the normal mountain, but there's a whole secret like other side of the mountain you can scale up, and it's kind of crazy because you can kind of glitch out Mario Galaxy's physics to do these crazy skips, and that's just a lot of fun to me. Alright, next up is Ghostly Galaxy. This is a banger galaxy, and I actually feel like from this point on I don't have many complaints for the galaxies. The aesthetics are fire between the visuals, the atmosphere, and the music. It's all great. I love the level design. There's some really awesome missions here between the rock monster, saving Luigi, or the much better Boo race than the Boo's Boneyard Galaxy. And of course, we can't forget the secret mission where you go to that mansion area with the platform slowly appearing in front of you that just looks so cool and is a ton of fun to go through. So yeah, overall, Ghostly Galaxy freaking slaps. Alright, next we have another one-off galaxy, the Drip Drop Galaxy. This is another one-off galaxy, so it's nothing too massive or crazy fancy, but I do think that it's well designed. There's a lot of cool set pieces hidden under the water. I do like the mission, how you have to destroy all the nasty fish that have infested the penguin waters, and the aesthetic is actually pretty good. It gives me this kind of lonely feeling, but like not too lonely, you know what I mean? Okay, I don't know. Next up, let's go to Gateway Galaxy. This is technically the first galaxy in the game, and honestly the main reason why it ranks so high is just because of that introductory planet. Man, that is just like, if you had to sum up Mario Galaxy in one area, I would totally say that planet does it. There's just something so serene about it. It's kind of like I was saying before, lonely, but not necessarily sad. And I think that it does a great job immersing the players in what will be a very epic game going forward. However, with that said, after you catch the bunnies and go off to get the Grand Star, it's actually a pretty basic level, so it's not that good, but I still gotta give it props for that crazy intro. Okay, next up is Sand Spiral Galaxy. This is an awesome one-off galaxy, and it's actually kind of later in the game where I feel like a lot of the levels just got super crazy. But yeah, the level starts off with this really cool branching path system where you can choose to either progress as Boo Mario or Bee Mario, and there's different challenges depending on which one you select. Then after that, there's this really epic kind of spiral rock thing that you have to run across with Star Mario before getting the star. It's not super long, but I do really like the idea of kind of mix and matching different power-ups for different experiences. Okay, next up is Snowcap Galaxy. I freaking love the atmosphere and the mission for this one. The mission is nothing too, fancy. It's just catch the bunnies, which we've done a lot before, but I mean, come on, they're so cute and it's fun to catch them. And then as for the level design, it's nothing too crazy, but they do introduce a pretty fun mechanic where you can use your cursor to push away the snow, which will reveal secrets on the ground. Yeah, overall, it's just a really charming, fun little level. Alrighty, next up we have Loop-de-Swoop Galaxy, which is the much harder manta ray level where you have to ride on the little manta guy. I really love this level because, well, it's a lot harder, and it's also just really fun. And at the end, you can even do this victory lap thing across all of the course that you just raced on to get start bits, and it's just kind of cool. Okay, next up is Matter Splatter Galaxy. This takes the concept of that one secret mission in Ghostly Galaxy and just makes a whole level out of it. So very, very, very cool. Great music, incredible atmosphere. Like, that green background is just crazy. It looks so good, and the level design is great. Alrighty, next up is Bowser Jr.'s Robot Reactor. This is definitely one of the coolest boss fights in the game, and it's something that I think you really could only do in a Mario Galaxy game, and that's because you have to use the gravity to your advantage to climb up this enormous robot and take him out from the top. Very, very cool, very epic. Alright, next up we have Sea Slide Galaxy, and wow, this one is so epic. Like, I love the loop that you go around with the water. There's a lot of fun little islands to stop at between your giant water ring. There's this cool egg thing in the middle. The missions are pretty good. One of them is just chasing this shark guy. One of them is racing penguins. And the other one is just traversing all over this massive galaxy to collect little, blue star pieces that will pull you to the end. Overall, just a really fun level, and I actually feel like Mario Galaxy has great beach levels now that I'm thinking about it. Alright, the next galaxy is Bonefin Galaxy, that has easily the most metal boss in the entire game. This guy is crazy. He's this dead fish that, haunts the waters, and you have to take him out with these shells, and he has his little dry bones fish minions chasing after you. It's just so cool. Definitely one of the most intense boss fights in the game. Next up is Bowser's Dark Matter Planet. I love this level. This is definitely the best Bowser/Bowser Jr. level in the game, because not only is the level design really good, but the aesthetics are really strong as well with this crazy purple goopy thing. And the mission is just fun because, it's always cool to go through a Bowser challenge to go fight Bowser. So overall, it accomplishes everything that Bowser levels should do. Alrighty, next up we have Gusty Garden Galaxy. This is definitely probably the most iconic level in the Mario Galaxy series just due to the music, but as a level itself, it's also really strong. I love how you use the flowers to kind of flow through the wind. It gives this very graceful kind of, elegant vibe to the level, plus you have that gorgeous orchestral music backing you. I think the level missions are pretty good, not incredible, but they're not bad. I do like the Catch the Rabbit one. I do like the one where you have to kind of, go throughout these different apples by shooting a caterpillar between them. That one's pretty cool. But the boss fight against the giant mole is, it's kind of whatever. But it is a great level. Alrighty, next up we have Big Mouth Galaxy. And this is probably the most straight up ethereal level in the game. There's something so mysterious about it, not only from its design, which is shaped like this rockfish, but also the narrative. We have this old penguin that has seemingly been living here his whole life, telling us about a golden shell located deep inside the cavern. We have to swim through, and then we can collect a golden shell only after avoiding this crazy jellyfish enemy that I don't even think is in any other level of the game. After that, we return and we can break open the treasure chest, and MF Captain Toad was in there the whole time. Alrighty, and then coming in at number 3 in our top 3, we have Melty Molten Galaxy. Now this is probably the most straight up epic galaxy in the entire game. There are just so many cinematic shots where Mario blasts through the sky, and you have the volcanoes going off, the meteors raining down, the incredible music. This is just peak epic Mario. And it's not just the aesthetics, the level design and missions are super strong too. In the first mission, we have to scale this sinking mountain before it dips into the lava, so that's already really intense and fun. In the second mission, there's this awesome rolling star segment that's only like 5 seconds long, just the way I like them. And then finally, it culminates in a battle against a fiery Petey Piranha enemy that is kind of like the same thing as the first boss in the game, which yes, technically is a reskin, but I still feel like it's a nice way to cap off the game, since this is probably the last or one of the last galaxies you'll play before finishing Super Mario Galaxy. Overall, just a great galaxy. Next up, number 2, Sweet Sweet Galaxy, baby. Alrighty, I love this level. It's just such a colorful, joyful, and fun level, not only to look at, not only to listen to, but also just to play through, right? Like, it's kind of awesome to have these cookies that are cut out in different shapes where you either have to avoid the gaps or jump on the, the parts that are there. And it's not really that hard, but it is definitely a little bit more stimulating from a challenge perspective. And it all culminates to landing on a giant cake, which I just love whenever Mario gets into food stuff because it's so fun. So I love this level because it's just very fun and very visually and aesthetically charming. Alrighty, and now for what I consider to be the best galaxy in the game, we're going with Beach Bowl Galaxy, baby. I told you that Mario Galaxy does not miss with its beach levels, and wow, this level is so good. Okay, first off with the aesthetics, they locked TF in. The visuals are super bright and vibrant, and they're just inviting to the playful nature that Mario is all about. And the music is super infectiously charming as well. Like, this has got to be one of the best beach themes in Mario history. Then, of course, you gotta love the penguins. I mean, for real, all my homies love the penguins. And the level design is super strong as well. This is pure 3D Mario fun because there are so many different mechanics or objects to interact with, to jump around on, to climb up, to swim, to dive, to do all that good stuff. It just takes full advantage of what a 3D platformer can do. And finally, of course, there are the missions. Beach Bowl Galaxy got the whole spread of great missions. There's the cute and charming ones like Steal the Shell from the Penguin. There's an awesome platforming intensive one where you have to break a hole in a wall to reveal a passageway to another planet, and that's really cool. And then there's my personal favorite mission in the entire game that involves you discovering the secret planet that not only looks super awesome from a visual standpoint, but also features an incredible gameplay mechanic, and that involves you using the ice flower to scale waterfalls. Not only is this a freaking epic looking visual, but it's also just a ton of fun from a gameplay perspective. And I feel like that's kind of what Mario Galaxy is all about. Pairing imaginative visuals with incredibly ingenious gameplay mechanics, and it results in something epic and magical. So overall, I love Beach Bowl Galaxy. It is truly a fantastic and, in my opinion, basically flawless galaxy. But anyways, let me know what your favorite galaxies are in the comments below, unless it is Battlerock Galaxy because you're gay. See ya!